I'm going to keep it straightforward because buying a car lift isn't something you want to guess about. If you've been scrolling through endless options, wondering whether a portable unit can actually handle your weekend projects without turning your garage into a circus, this review is for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the hesitation most people feel isn't about the price tag so much as the risk of buying a piece of equipment that looks impressive on paper but ends up being a headache in the real world. A lift promises to get your car off the ground so you can change a tire, do brake work, or install a suspension kit, but if the unit wobbles, can't reach the needed height, or demands a power setup you don't have, you're back to the floor. That's why I'm focusing on what actually matters once the box is opened, how the lift fits into a typical home garage, what you have to accommodate in terms of space and power, and whether the trade-offs it makes are worth the advertised 7,000-pound capacity. The portable car lift market is crowded with heavy-duty frames that look like they belong in a commercial shop, yet they're marketed to DIYers with a two-car garage. The key differentiator is mobility. Most lifts are bolted to the floor or require a permanent concrete pad. VEVOR's version tries to bridge that gap with a set of fold-out wheels and a compact footprint when stored. In practice, that means you can roll the unit out of the corner, plug it into a standard 120-volt outlet, and have it ready for a lift in a matter of minutes. For anyone who needs the flexibility to move the lift between a garage, a driveway, or even a rented workspace, that convenience is a real plus. Setting it up is as simple as it sounds. The frame arrives pre-welded, and the only assembly required is attaching the hydraulic pump and the safety lock bars. Most users will need a level floor. Any unevenness can translate into uneven lifting, which is a safety issue you don't want to overlook. Once positioned, you extend the hydraulic arms, engage the safety locks, and crank the pump. The lift rises at a steady pace, and because the hydraulic system is powered by a 120V motor, you don't need a separate generator or a three-phase supply. That's a major win for anyone who only has a regular household circuit. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths. The first thing you'll notice is the sturdiness of the carbon steel construction. The frame doesn't flex under load, which is crucial when you're lifting a heavier sedan or a light truck. The adjustable lifting height, maxing out at 26.8 inches, is sufficient for most common maintenance tasks: changing a tire, accessing the undercarriage, or swapping out a muffler. In my own experience, the height lets me get under the car without crouching, but it does stop short of the clearance you'd need for full engine work on a high-clearance SUV. The built-in safety features, like the redundant lock bars and a pressure relief valve, give you a clear sense that the unit is designed to prevent sudden drops. Those aren't just marketing buzzwords, they're the kind of safeguards you actually rely on when you're under a vehicle. The lift also ships with a set of accessories that most competitors leave as optional extras. You get the necessary jack pads for both front and rear axles, a set of wheel chocks, and a quick-release hose for the hydraulic pump. Having those items included saves you a trip to the hardware store and ensures the lift is ready to use out of the box. For a home garage that already has a few tools but not a dedicated lift kit, this all-in-one package adds genuine value. On the flip side, there are a few trade-offs that can catch you off guard. The first is weight. Even though it's portable, the unit itself weighs close to 300 pounds, so you'll need at least two people to move it safely, especially if you have to navigate stairs or a tight doorway. The wheels make rolling easier, but you still have to be mindful of the load when positioning it. Secondly, the reliance on a 120V power source limits the maximum lifting speed. It's not a race car lift. You'll hear the pump whir for a minute or two before the car reaches the desired height. That's fine for occasional maintenance, but if you're planning to do a lot of high-volume work, the slower cycle time could become a bottleneck. Another limitation worth mentioning is the height ceiling. While 26.8 inches covers most sedans and compact trucks, a larger pickup or a lifted off-road vehicle may still need a higher platform to give you clearance for the wheels and suspension components. If your garage is already cramped, you might also find the lift's footprint, about 3 feet wide by 4 feet long, takes up a sizable chunk of floor space. In a small one-car garage, you'll need to plan where you'll store the